Well, here today, I'm gonna make a chit chat with my good friend from United States, Andy Austin. He's a great guy, a great retail specialist that we have the privilege at Brainbox to bring him to Brazil in spirit, in mind, in knowledge, and of course, every time our clients needs, also in person. So today I would like introduce to you all to our good friend and make him some questions about how retail it's thriving around the world, especially United States, and how can we talk about these new things to Brazil, to our moment in Brazil, to our reality, our challenges, our difficulties, and to understand if there's anything we can be inspired, and if there are any company or companies right now doing a great job when we talk about especially physical retail and this monster and challenge that is digital retailing. So, Andy, welcome again. Thank you for your time.
Great to see you, Zeh. I'm very pleased to be part of the Brainbox family and look forward to doing quite a few of these with you as you and I both see what's happening as retail continues to evolve worldwide.
Wonderful. Andy, I have one very important question for me. We have been hearing the past years, I would say 10 years from now, that retailers must provide a great customer experience. This word, experience, hits my ears a lot almost every day. And every time I think, do retailers know what experience or a great experience means to the customer? Could you explain and give some examples? What is a good experience, for Christ's sake?
I love this question, Zeh. Thank you very much for bringing it up. And it's really relevant because when I was at AT&T, they invented a new position for me called Executive Director of Retail Customer Experience, because we believed that our job as retailers was to provide merchandise authority. That is to make sure we have the right phones and great trained salespeople to bring those phones to life and help shoppers understand how they would use those phones outside of the four walls of the store. And we thought that was experience. A lot of retailers today believe that bringing products to life, telling stories about their brand, and all of those things mean experience. But I disagree with that. Now, the customer is touched by so many points outside of the four walls of the store that they've already created an idea of what the brand means to them and why she wants to walk into that store. Experience is personalized. Experience means, did I, as the shopper, get what I expected to, where my expectations exceeded when I came into the store? So all these stores that we're building that have beautiful lighting and beautiful flooring and mannequins and bring products to life are only part of what experience means. And what experience means is to create an environment where the shopper is now the center of attention. Create a stage where she is the star of the show. And there was a reason for her to get in her car and leave her home and leave the safety of her mobile device or leave the safety of her browser to come and discover something that she didn't expect in the store. That's experience. It's flipped. So we used to think, I've got great products, I'm going to show them to you, and I'm going to let you make a decision. Now it's flipped. What do you want? What are you expecting when you leave this store? And how do my products enhance your perception of how my brand attaches to your brand? And the best example of that here in the US is something that you and your colleagues already know about, which is Sephora. Sephora automatically has merchandise authority. We know that the product that you want is going to be there, and we know that the product that you and the shade that you need will be there, and everything that you want will be there. But that doesn't change from Sephora offline to Sephora online. So why do we, as customers, go into Sephora? The reason we go into Sephora is because Sephora has enabled salespeople with technology that enhances the salesperson's ability to have a human conversation with you about your previous interactions with Sephora. So we know what you've purchased, we know what you've looked at, and the salesperson could take the great training that she has, augment that with the technology's ability to deliver your previous interactions with Sephora and help you understand other products that Sephora can bring you and reward you for coming into the store. The key here is two. One, we need to understand the previous influences and outside influences that come to that customer journey. And then two, utilize that information to make the customer the center of attention, make the customer the star of the show, and have products revolving around her, not the other way around.
So you were saying that today there is no real in-store experience if you don't have human data and technology all together.
To best execute it, it can be technology is the way to do it, Zeh, but an understanding of the frame of mind of the shopper and why the shopper visited your store is the only way that you can execute a fantastic experience. And the big paradox for many, many years for us as retailers has been, how do we know why the customer came here? Well, now we do. Now we do, because no customer walks into any store now without already have checked us out online, already have used our app, word of mouth, been influenced by traditional advertising. We have data points. Why aren't we activating those data points in store to drive experience? Why are we buying all this fancy technology and these lights and everything? All we need to do is provide data in a way that a salesperson can have a human conversation with a shopper. We've been having human conversations with shoppers for generations. Now these conversations can be supercharged with the data that we have and drive what is perceived by the shopper to be an unbelievable experience, specifically because it's personalized.
So why do you think, especially in countries in Europe, in USA, that we see major brands opening stores or managing stores with no experience, as you have mentioned, at all? So if this knowledge that you have just shared in the past 5 minutes, it's a well-known, very common knowledge, I would say, very spread concepts all over the world. We discussed that on events such as EuroShop, such as the retail summits and NRF. Why these major brands insist in doing the same old stuff?
Because it feels hard. It feels like big data. And big data was the worst word we could ever put on this. It's not big data. It's micro analytics. We know where the customer has touched our brand. We just haven't had the courage to put the investment in to take a look at how to analyze that and then how to make that come to life for the salesperson. It's just 2 steps. To me, the big answer to be able to execute this is that brands and retailers need to invest in best understanding the customer journey. What you're looking at here is the customer journey for Macy's. We had the opportunity to do some research with Macy's on why consumers would come to their wedding registry. And Macy's doesn't need to do any of this research because Macy's invented the wedding registry. They're still the leader in wedding registry here in the United States. No one in the US gets married without at least having some of their registry at Macy's. But what we know is we can be passed by if we don't continue to evolve. And you'll see it's very intricate. There are tons of touch points, different stakeholders in what makes a wedding come to life. And retailers need to do this due diligence. We need to take a look at what is driving our customer journey. Why should a customer come into our store at all? Because if you go to the marketplace, if you go to Amazon or if you go online, I'm getting product recommendations. I'm getting artificial intelligence applied to my past purchases. I'm getting all those things, and I don't need to leave the safety of my browser. The problem with that is that I don't have the opportunity to do any of the discovery that we talked about at Sephora. The key answer to what you just asked, Zeh, is we don't understand the customer journey. We've spent money building beautiful locations. We've spent money training our salespeople in what we think they should be saying, when actually we need to better understand what's in the customer's head and what are the impetus points that brought them to the store, and how did they get there, and what enticed them to do so. And it requires an in-depth understanding of the customer journey and a full definition of what we want the customer journey to be, so that we can streamline that moment when she comes into the store, and we then can make the store and that experience about her instead of it being about us.
Is that viable for a medium retailer?
It's more viable today than it ever was before. Zeh, we are using Hootsuite to put all our social media out there, and we are getting data that's totally usable. Even if we don't do it on the micro level, but on the macro level, understand how our word of mouth, how our out of home, how our social is working, then we can have a better understanding of why she came into our store. We have more data now than we ever did before, and it's more usable than it ever was. That's why I hate the concept of big data, because we can get down to the micro level and we can really understand why she's coming in the store. What Sephora's done isn't magic, because those shopping carts exist out there, and our colleagues in the retail industry are using them no matter what size they are.
For us to finish our quick conversation, of course, we're going to have many more of these conversations along the second semester of this 2023, because it's we have a lot of topics to cover, and just a few time not to bore our audience. So the $1 million question: what would be the steps, the basic steps to understand the customer journey?
We need to get together, map out what we think the customer journey is, get experts internally and externally to understand where we've spent money, where those points are of influence on the customer, and then test it by asking our customers when they come in the store on what did influence them and what didn't influence them. We can do that at the till. We can do that as part of the conversations that our salespeople are having with our shoppers, all of those places. But it's much easier than you think. It didn't take a lot of work to have that very intricate Macy's customer journey. And we didn't even get to go as deep as we wanted with Macy's. But it's a wonderful exercise, because it's going to help our colleagues as retailers better understand if their brand is making an impact at all on their shoppers. But without an understanding of the customer journey, we can't have valuable conversations in our stores, and there's no way that we can provide experience.
So the good news that now at Brainbox with Andy we can discover the best customer journey for the retailers in Brazil, right?
Can't wait. Let's do it.
Okay. Andy, thank you again for your time. Hope to see you back in a few weeks with some other topics, hot topics, about how the US retailers are living throughout these difficult moments of inflation and taxes and all of the things that are happening right now, and maybe some other good tips to the Brazilian retailers as well as the Brazilian industries. So thank you again, and hope to see you in a bit.